Okay, everybody, welcome to day 2 of the Online Wealth Accelerator workshop. This today is actually probably a bit more important than day 1. So day 1 is all the information. It's the foundation, and information is obviously something that you need to be able to get started. But as we said yesterday, the most important part of this journey is your mindset. So today we're going to be covering the guaranteed success equation, which is this is incredibly important no matter what you do. It doesn't matter whether it's an online business, whether you have a traditional business, whether you're looking to achieve in sports. This guaranteed success equation is applicable to any area of your life. So regardless of whether you're going to start an online business or you already have an online business, you can apply this to absolutely anything in your life. So again, I do hope that you have a pen and a piece of paper, because I'm going to go through step by step this equation to be able to really help you to get out of your own way and fast track your results this year and beyond. So I'm just going to mute everybody. Make sure we're all muted. Okay, super cool. All right, so let's get started. Let's start with a recap from yesterday first. And step 1, I shared with you how to start an online business that you love that has limitless income potential. So I actually went through all the steps that will help you to create a leveraged income with an online business, and the fact that online is exploding with opportunities right now. There are so many reasons to start an online business. In my mind, if you're entrepreneurial and you really want to develop multiple streams of income, or even just one alternate stream of income, then you are freaking crazy not to be in the online space. And there's so many different ways you can do it. You can, so many different business models you can use. You can do something that you love, monetize it, do it in your own time, and there's relatively small startup costs. So if you missed day 1, then I highly recommend. It's 2 hours just jam-packed with really powerful information. And then, of course, you need to be able to go and execute on that information. Take something from the training that I share with you over these 3 days, each day, and then go and do something with it. So step 2 is I shared with you how to create a customer client acquisition system that works hard while you don't. This is the leverage piece. It's setting up an online funnel so that once you've created it, you don't have to show up every day to continue to do the same thing over and over and over. You don't have to personally send out emails because your automated email system does that for you. You don't have to take somebody through your entire sales and marketing process because that is already set up and been running 24/7. So you are literally selling while you sleep. And then the third thing that I covered was how to activate the power within and fast track creating a 6-figure income with an online business that you love. Now, step number 3, we're diving more into that today. That's what the guaranteed success formula is about, is activating the power within you so you can achieve anything that you put your mind to. So let's dive right into the content for today. So today I'm going to be covering why most people struggle to realize their dreams and how to fix it in 2 minutes or less. Sounds too good to be true? Well, I'm going to share with you these powerful strategies that are going to be an absolute game changer for you, depending on how you apply it in your life. All of this depends on your application, on your execution. What do you do with this after the training's done, the workshop's done, and life sort of returns back to the normal life that you are used to living? What are you going to take from this to apply in your life that is going to change everything for you? My intention is to empower you so you can change your life in any way that you want. Become the person that you need to be to achieve anything that you put your mind to. That's always my intention. So these powerful techniques that I'm going to work with, I'm going to share with you today. And then remember, tomorrow, I'm actually going to work with you live on the call using the techniques that I share with you today to clear out those limiting beliefs that are stopping you from achieving whatever it is that your heart desires. So today, I'm going to identify the number one reason 99% of people fail to realize their dreams, identify the underlying causes for that reason, the powerful techniques to clear blocks to success, techniques to uncover those blocks, and tomorrow, that's not today actually, but tomorrow I'm going to do some live clearing of those blocks. So we're going to dedicate all the time to doing the live clearing tomorrow. So you really want to make sure that you're there, because I'm going to work with people live on the call to be able to work with you to clear your blocks tomorrow. So what do you think is the biggest thing that is holding you back from achieving your dreams? And it's not a trick question. In the chat, again, I'm going to be asking you to participate today, because the way that you're going to get the most out of this is your participation. So what do you think is the biggest thing that is holding you back from achieving your dreams? Nailed it, Pat. Nailed it in one. Of course, it is fear. We are hardwired in our primitive brains to look for things, to look for threats. So we're always seeking out things that are a threat to our existence, a threat to our life. Now, back in the day, you know, when we were existing with saber-toothed tigers, this was incredibly important, essential, in fact, for our continued existence. We were constantly looking for danger, all the time looking for danger. Now, that primitive brain, it may have been superseded by our frontal lobe and the other higher brain functions that we now have, but the primitive brain is still there, and it is still hardwired to look for danger. So our subconscious is always on the lookout for that next threat, that next danger. And this is why so many people don't achieve the results that they want to in life, is because their entire life, they are responding to the subconscious fears. And to be perfectly honest, almost everybody on the planet doesn't even know why we do what we do. We don't even know what those fears are that are going on in the back of our mind, in our subconscious, that are causing us to behave the way that we do, that are the cause of our results that we get, because our subconscious is the cause of our results. I'm going to dive more into that during this training. So it's really important that we make sure that we are not allowing fear to dictate our results and our world. So the biggest block to success is fear. So one of the most important differences between super successful entrepreneurs and those who continue to struggle and languish in lives of quiet desperation, lack, and mediocrity is super successful people don't allow fear to run the show. It doesn't mean they don't have fear. It doesn't mean they don't have doubts, but they don't allow their fear to dictate their decisions and their actions and their results. That is a massive distinction. That is a game-changing distinction. So too many people are running these fear-based narratives in their brain, and that is what is dictating the show. So if you want to be successful, you have to flip it. You have to. There is no other choice. Courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is acting in spite of fear. It's feeling the fear and doing it anyway. And this doesn't mean taking unnecessary risks that you haven't really thought about. So super successful people, they are not very risk averse. Many actually enjoy the risk factor because it, gives them an adrenaline rush. And the really highly successful entrepreneurs they have a much higher appetite for risk. Now, it's important that you manage whatever works for you. I don't believe in putting yourself into a massively super stressful situation in order to be able to achieve your dreams. But you have to take some form of calculated risk. And it's building that courage within you to be able to do that. And the really amazing thing is that when you step out of your comfort zone, because that takes courage, and you realize you didn't die, when you do something that felt massively uncomfortable, and you come away and you go, oh my God, I'm not dead. And it actually wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. Or, geez, that was really hard, but I'm so proud of myself and I'm glad that I did it. You are building courage. So courage is built. It's not just something that you just have naturally. It's built by taking those actions. And sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. But when you realize you didn't die in the process, it actually really emboldens you more and more. So playing to win versus playing not to lose. And most people in the world, they're playing not to lose. What do I mean by that? Well, it means they're looking at they're actually looking at the field. So there's a field full of players, and they're looking at the field and they're assessing the risks. And they're going, oh, it's too risky. I'm not even going to get on the field. Or they're on the field, but they're not participating in the game, not to their full capacity, because they're too afraid of the risks that are involved. They're too afraid to get hurt or damaged or whatever it might be. So if you really want to play this game and succeed, you must play to win, which means being all in. So when I talk about this, I talk about two sporting teams. So just say you have two sporting teams and they have done the preparation. The preparation is absolutely key. They've done the hard work. They've done the preparation. They have formulated their game plan. They have practiced their team plays and their strategies. They have done the strength and training work. They have done the fitness work. They're fully prepared. And both teams have done this. One team gets on the field and they are hungry for the win. They want the win. This is the finals. It's the playoffs. And they really are hungry for the win, and they go out and they give it absolutely everything. They take risks. They make some mistakes, but, they are just all in. They are leaving it all on the field. And a couple of their players might have been carried off injured, but they've got the replacements on the field and they're just going full on. The other team come out and they are so fully prepared. Both teams are equally matched, but the second team is cautious. They don't want to get hurt. They they go out thinking, oh, but what if I make a mistake? I'm too afraid to do that because I might make a mistake. What if I stuff it up? What if I let the team down? Which is the most likely team to win? Team number one or team number two? The team that is leaving it all on the field or the team that's playing it safe? Which team is the most likely to win? There are no guarantees. Type it in the chat for me. Which team do you think is the team most likely to win? Team number one that's leaving it all on the field, that's giving it absolutely everything? Or team number two that's being cautious, it's too afraid to make mistakes? Come on, work with me. Team number three. Oh, Pat, you're such a smart ass. Team number three isn't even in the game. Absolutely, Stephen. Yep, you're right, Pat. Absolutely. The one that's all in. You're dead right. So, barring any massive unseen circumstances, 99% of the time, team number one is going to win because they are all in. Yeah, they might make mistakes. And yeah, sometimes somebody might do something really stupid and then beat themselves up for a while. But the team that's playing it too cautious, they're probably going to get smashed. Now, in life, this is the same in life. Life isn't for forever. And I know that if you're in my community, then you've already lived some of your life. You've already experienced the ups and downs, the failures, the disappointments. You know that nothing is certain, that nothing is guaranteed. And you know that you want more. But are you playing to win or are you playing not to lose? So too many people are afraid to invest their money in something that that could be a really good investment because they're too afraid to lose their money. Now, as I said, you always need to take a calculated risk. You don't play games that you don't understand. Always do your due diligence and investigate everything. But so many people, they're afraid to invest in themselves because, oh my God, what if I invest in the wrong thing? What if I lose my money? Okay, what if you lose your money? What if you learn something? What if you invest in something that is the thing that you needed to get you to where you want to be? If it's not, take what you can get out of it, learn, expand, grow, keep going. You have no idea how many programs that I've invested in, gotten into them, done a little bit of work, learned a few things and gone, yeah, really wasn't the right time for me. It wasn't the right program for me, whatever. But I made the decision that I thought was best for me at the time. I'm not a reactive purchaser, so I don't fall for a lot of the tactics and strategies, the FOMO, the limited numbers, the scarcity. I don't fall for any of that. I'm actually repelled by those kind of tactics. Yeah, I know they work. Psychologically, they work on most of the population. But those tactics actually repel me, and I don't like using those tactics. I'm not saying that you shouldn't use those tactics because they actually do work. But I have still, even though I always do my due diligence, I've still invested in things that just, I thought, yeah, well, I could have used that more wisely. Anyway, move on next. And if you talk to any entrepreneur, they will tell you that 9 out of 10 of the things that they do don't work. But the 10th thing that they do works spectacularly well. T. Harv Eker says it very well. He said when he learned that one fact, that 9 out of 10 things that entrepreneurs try don't work, he just knew that he had to be the person who was willing to try at least 10 things to find his thing. Now, it's not always, I think he failed at 10 businesses in 11 years. So sometimes you might have to work a little harder. If you think of Walt Disney, how many banks did Walt Disney go to before he found somebody who was crazy enough to actually bankroll this massive, crazy idea? Everybody else told him he was nuts. I think it was like 100 banks. I think they all thought he was loopy when he went and asked them for money. But he just kept going and kept going and kept going. He wasn't afraid of rejection. I have no doubt that he felt like it was too hard sometimes and just felt like walking away. We all do. But he had a vision. And he was not giving up at the first or the 10th or the 20th or the 50th rejection. He was going to do whatever it took to bring that vision to life. He was playing to win. So I want you to look at different areas of your life right now. Right now would be a great time to look at different areas of your life and think about, are you playing to win or are you playing not to lose? Are you not doing what you know you need to do because you're too afraid that something might go wrong, or are too afraid that you might lose face, or you might lose friends, or you might lose money, or you might lose time? Are you too afraid something might go wrong? Shit goes wrong all the time. It does. That's life. But it's what you do about it that counts. So very, very important. You've got to play to win. And as I said, always do your due diligence, do your research, and back yourself. Back yourself 1,000%. And if something doesn't work, that's okay. Failure is just feedback. Reframe failure. Too often we're so afraid to fail because we've had an experience in our younger days. There's all this stigma attached to failure. Bullshit. If you're afraid to fail, then get over that right here, right now. Just decide that that is no longer going to dictate your actions, because failure is the only way to achieve anything. So, you know, in relationships, I don't think there's any such thing as a failed relationship. Relationships are for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So what can you take from that relationship that ended up ending, that ended, and maybe wasn't your, you know, your lifetime soulmate and partner? What did you learn from that? How did you grow from that? Did you just realize the kind of partner that you don't want? But if you're going in too reserved into a relationship and you're not willing to participate fully, then you're pretty much guaranteeing your failure. Just as the team that goes onto the field and is too cautious, they are literally almost guaranteeing that they will fail, that they will walk off the losing team. So I love watching tennis. I was actually up till 1 a.m. in the morning watching tennis. And I only went to bed. The match that I was watching actually went to 4 a.m. So I was glad that I went to bed, and the guy that I was barracking for didn't win anyway. It was a 5 hours 45 minute match. It was insane. But I love tennis, and I watch these players and the commitment that they have on the court. They give it absolutely everything, these top players. And there's an upcoming young Australian called Alexi Poprin, and he's such an easy to love young man. But he was on the court yesterday, was watching him play yesterday, and he won this. And this is only the second round, right? But he's a young player. Second round match, and they have these post-match interviews on the court with the commentators. And the commentator was kind of drilling him about his win. And Alexi Poprin, it's only the second round, but he was in tears. It meant that much to him. And she was asking him about, you know, his preseason, because she knew, they know the players, they know what's going on in the background. And he said last year, 2022, he said he just had the worst year. It was very disappointing for him. And he decided at the end of last year that he never wanted to feel like that ever again. So in the preseason, the off season, he got his head down and he worked so hard on every aspect of his game, on his mental game, on his physical stamina, on his skill sets. He just worked his ass off, and it's really showing. He said it's only like the 20th of January, and he said he's already won more games in the season this year than he won all of last year. And he just said he never wants to have that feeling again. So his commitment, his dedication, his focus, his preparation. Do you have that kind of commitment to your success? Are you willing to do all the hard work, to do the preparation? Now, one of my things is I don't believe in hustle. Doesn't mean I don't believe in hard work. So anyway, I went on way too long on that slide. But anyway, getting in the zone. This is another thing that I was kind of thinking about. As I was watching the players yesterday. And I don't watch a lot of television, but I tell you what, when the Australian Open tennis is on, I'm a bit of an addict. I become an addict for like 2 weeks. But I was watching the players who as I've said, they've done the preparation work. They are very much on autopilot in many areas of their game. So they trust that the skill sets they have developed, their shot making, their accuracy, all the things that go into making them a great tennis player, they have to trust that they are in place when they walk out on the court. Now, over 90% of the tennis game in the actual game, once the preparation is done, is the mental game. And to see those who, once they get into the zone, it's like they are unbeatable. And watching some of the games yesterday where one player may be better than the other player, but the player who may not be quite as good gets in the zone. And it doesn't matter what this other player does, they just can't break them. And the player who wins stays absolutely focused. So this match that I was watching last night and ended up going to bed, Tanasi Kokkinakis is our Australian. He's Australian, believe it or not, with a name like that, Tanasi Kokkinakis. We're very multicultural here in Australia. But he was so focused. He was playing Andrew Murray, who is a legend in the game, been around for years, an absolute champion, but in every sense of the word. And he proved that last night. So Kokkinakis was playing just the most amazing tennis. And he had Andy Murray down, because it's 5 sets. If you don't know tennis, they play 5 sets. And it's the best out of 5. So Kokkinakis had won 2 sets out of the whole 5. And they were playing the 3rd set, and he was up 5-2 in the 3rd set. He was actually serving for the match, but something happened that interrupted his focus, and he shifted his attention. It was actually a bad call by the umpire, and he just lost it. Now, he never regained his focus, and that's when Andy Murray, the champion that he is, dug deep, and he won that match 2.5 hours later. But Kokkinakis in the beginning was in the zone. There was nothing Andy Murray could do to actually break Kokkinakis, because he was in the zone, he was focused, and all of his tennis preparation was just there. You could just see it. He could do no wrong. His shot making was ridiculous. It was a great match to watch. So I love seeing highly successful people and watching and analyzing what they're doing. And I don't care if it's in the sporting field, if it's in relationship, if it's in health, whatever it might be, there are principles that are applicable to every area of your life, including business, success, in anything. So look at champions. What are they doing? How do they get in the zone? What are they doing to prepare themselves? So, okay. There are 3 root causes of failure. Number 1, you believe it's not safe. This is the subconscious mind. This is the wiring in the subconscious mind. Number 1, it's not safe. Number 2, I'm not good enough. Number 3, I don't deserve it. So these are the foundational subconscious doubts, fears, doubts, and limiting beliefs that everything else springs from. And fear is the number 1 block to success. It's not safe. And then you have, I'm not good enough. That is also huge. All of us have all of these 3 to a certain extent. But the distinction is that those who are successful don't allow these things to run the show. And they do the internal work to release these blocks. to release these causes of failure, to make sure that failure is not a terminal disease in their world. So, as I said, failure is just not feedback. It's not a terminal disease. It depends on how you frame it and how you work with it. You've got to work with failure. You've got to see it as learning. It's a process. Your success is a process. It is a process of failure and success. And you're going to fail many more times than you succeed. So it's not safe. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve it. Now, if we break that down into even more, into more distinction, I'm going to do that for you in just a minute. But what do you think is the biggest thing that is holding you back from achieving your dreams? I want you to have a think about this. What do you think is the number one thing that is holding you back from achieving your dreams? What are you most afraid of? Deb, not good enough. That is a huge one. A lot of people have comparisonitis. So we tend to compare ourselves against everybody else, and never, ever a good thing, because you either end up feeling superior or inferior. And most of the time, we end up feeling inferior. Which reminds me of a story somebody once told me many years ago now about Richard Branson. He was hosting an event, and Richard Branson was one of the speakers. It was a big event, like a stadium auditorium thing, thousands of people, hundreds of people. And he was talking to Richard Branson in the wings before he went on. And Richard Branson said, I honestly don't know why anybody wants to listen to what I have to say. And it's like, you're what? Because you're Richard Branson? Yeah, but he was like, but what do I have that anybody wants to listen to? What the? So all of us have self-doubt. Didn't stop Richard Branson walking out into that auditorium and onto that stage and giving probably what could have been a life-changing speech for the people who were there, depending on what they did with that. Oh, Christine, you want me to go back? You compare yourself to everybody. It's not safe. I'm not good enough, and I don't deserve it. It's not safe. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve it. Is that what you meant? Yeah, you're welcome. Okay. Stephen, age and money. Okay, so you're never too old, and it's not about your resources. It's about your resourcefulness. Reframe. Age is no barrier. Now, you may be getting older and you may feel like you're running out of time. And of course, all of us have a limited amount of time in this existence. But it depends how you set yourself up for success, because you can achieve more in 6 months than most people will achieve in 10 years if you set yourself up right. It's getting the structure right. It's building the foundation right. It's taking action consistently that is the best use of your time and is going to get you the quickest progress. So it's identifying what action steps are going to be the most beneficial for the progress that you want to make. The most efficient and effective way to get from where you are to where you want to be. So it's really, you know how they say that if you're going to chop down a tree, that you want to spend 90% of your time sharpening the axe. So it's looking at the stuff that I shared yesterday, diving deep into that, and really instead of, and look, I'm guilty of this as well. It's like this scattergun approach. I did that for quite a long time. Oh, this looks like a good idea. I'm going to go and do this. I never actually sat down and thought about, where am I going? What do I really want? Who am I and what contribution do I want to make? All of this I covered yesterday. And then thinking about, well, what is the best business model for me? What is the most effective and efficient way for me to get from where I am to where I want to be? What's in alignment with who I truly am? What are my gifts, my talents? All that stuff I shared yesterday. So spend 90% of the time sharpening your axe. You will be gobsmacked what you can achieve in 6 months or 12 months when you do that. And as I said, if you don't have the kind of money that you think you need, then you need to get resourceful, because it's not about the money. It's about, there's plenty of money out there, plenty. So it's your mindset about the money, and it's your resourcefulness. The wealthy people in the world say that your net worth is equivalent to your net work. So who do you need to talk to? Who do you need to bring into your network? Who else might be able to fund the project or whatever it is that you want to do? Pat, it's not safe. So yeah, a wide variety of stuff. I don't compare. It's an inside thing from my early environment. Well, that's good if you don't compare yourself to anybody else. The question is, are you still, your thing was that you're not good enough. So you're not good enough compared to what? You are spirit. You're an infinitely powerful being. You're not good enough because, or I'm not good enough compared to. Who is good enough? In your eyes, who is good enough? If you're not good enough, is anybody good enough? Okay, so, oh, I can't do that because it's on my iPad. I'm trying to click on my computer. Too much technology. Okay, so now we're actually going to go into the guaranteed success formula. I know it took a long time to get here, but I like to build the foundation first, so you have the context and you have everything you need to really absorb this and then to implement this. So firstly, it is our beliefs. Our beliefs are the foundation of everything. It is we have something like 60,000 beliefs, and they are running the show. So if you have limiting beliefs, and they are predominantly limiting beliefs, as opposed to supportive beliefs, then your ability to succeed is going to be seriously limited. And here's why. Your beliefs actually cause your feelings. So if you believe that you're not good enough, the feeling that results from that is going to be very disempowering, a sense of helplessness or hopelessness. And there's all these other negative feelings that are going to be the result of I'm not good enough. And they show up in a variety of different ways. But the beliefs actually are the cause for the feelings. So if you believe that you're not lovable, how does that make you feel? But if you believe that, oh my God, I am really confident in myself. I love myself. Self-love is really important. I love myself. I know that I'm a lovable person in spite of my flaws, because we all have them. We are all flawed individuals, every single last one of us. None of us is perfect. But there's somebody out there for me who will love me for me, who will love me in spite of my flaws, who might even love me because of my flaws. And if you believe that, then the resulting feeling is very different to I'm not lovable, I'm not good enough. So the beliefs cause the feelings. The feelings are what actually will cause you to take the actions that you take, or not take action at all. So if you're feeling disempowered or helpless or hopeless, then the actions that you take are going to be very different than somebody who is feeling confident, they're feeling empowered, they're feeling inspired, motivated, they're excited. So if you take somebody who's depressed and somebody who's excited, how different are their actions going to be? Very different, right? So, and your actions, of course, create your results. So this is a self-fulfilling prophecy, because once you have your results, guess what happens? You have your beliefs, which cause your feelings. which create the actions, which in turn determines your results. And once you have your results, guess what happens? You've just reinforced your belief. So this is a continual circle and cycle unless you decide to change this. You change it at the core. You can try changing your results without changing your belief, but good luck with that. You change the beliefs, everything changes. So let's look at this in real time. I don't have an eraser. I don't know why I don't have an eraser, but I don't. So I have to undo everything once I've written on the page. So let's do this in real time. I want you to think about, actually, no, I'll start it off. So let's say you have the belief that I'm not good enough or I'm not enough. What kind of feelings come from that? I want you to feel into that. I'm not enough. I'm not good enough. I don't know enough. I'm not young. I'm not young enough. I'm too old. I don't have enough information. I don't have the right skills. I'm not enough. What kind of feelings come up for you when you think I'm not enough? Oh, Christine. Right. Wow. Hatred. That's tough. Hatred. Fear. Panic. They're intense feelings. Loser. Unworthy, Deb. Stupid. Okay, pretty intense negative feelings. So now remember, weak, says Stephen. Remember that a lot of this is going on subconsciously. Most of us aren't even aware that this entire reality is going on in our subconscious mind. We're just getting on with life. We get used to this shit show that's unfolding back here. We don't even realize that this is what's running our show. This is what's running our life. This is what's determining our results. This is what's sabotaging our success. So I love that, Christine. You just said I have to tap. I love that just spending this time with me has already helped you to uncover something that you realize you need to work on, because that is the key to this. So if you're feeling all these horrible negative feelings, which are very disempowering, what kind of actions do you think you're going to take? If these are the dominant feelings in your subconscious brain, what actions do you think you're going to take? Do you think actions that reinforce the bad feelings? Yeah, little or none, says Stephen. Exactly. And quite often, Deb, the actions that reinforce the bad feelings, there is actually no action at all. So, you know, not making a decision is still making a decision, and not taking action is sort of, you will be taking other action, just not the action that you need to take. So little to none. And most people don't take action. And this is exactly why, because they're too damn scared to take action, or they're not feeling like they're worthy, like they're good enough. Deb, you would make decisions that would be bad for you. So the result of this subconscious belief and these subconscious feelings is that you don't make good decisions. Very good point. So little to no actions. What happens when you take little to no actions, or you take the wrong kind of action, or you make the wrong decisions? What happens
No
then?
results. No results.
0 results. Absolutely. Absolutely. 0 results. 0. So And you can see that once you have 0 results, guess what that just reinforced? Just reinforced the belief that I'm not good enough. So this is a self-fulfilling prophecy. Let me just erase all this. I'm getting very fast at this. I have to tap my little undo button many times. Okay, so let's take a belief that business is hard. If you have the belief that business is hard, how does that make you feel? Business is hard. I'm not saying business is easy, by the way, but if you have a dominant belief that business is hard, makes me feel like I'm not good enough to learn it, always struggling, gripped. Okay, so struggling. If you're feeling not good enough, you're feeling disempowered. You might be feeling overwhelmed. If you're feeling like you won't succeed, you might be feeling a bit hopeless. So again, all of these feelings, if you have this, if you're wanting to build a business and you have a dominant feeling that business is hard, how is that going to affect your actions? Now, if you believe that business is hard, it doesn't mean that you won't take no action, but it means that you might procrastinate. You might take 0 action. Yeah, absolutely, Christine. The action could create difficult clients. Absolutely. So if you go in with the wrong energy, you're going to get the wrong results. And these beliefs are a self-fulfilling prophecy. So what was it that Henry Ford said? Whether you believe you can or you believe you can't, you're right. So it's the same thing. If you believe business is hard, guess what business is going to be? It's going to be hard. You're always going to be struggling. You're going to create what you believe. So, and then of course you get 0 results. And then you've just reinforced the belief that business is hard. So you've got to change this at the core. Let's take the belief, I am infinitely powerful. I want you to sit with that. I want you to sit with that and embody that right now. I am infinitely powerful. I am amazing. I am capable of achieving anything that I put my mind to. Deb says, feels good. You feel good. Happy. Empowered. We've got lots of love hearts from Christine. Free. I like that. Free. Absolutely. Why do we call it emotional freedom technique? Freedom from the attachment to our beliefs. The infinite within cannot fail. You are exactly right, Stephen. So when you acknowledge the infinite power that is within you, you absolutely cannot fail. It sparks some energy. Good, John. That's exactly what we want. So you've got the energy being sparked. You're feeling good. You're feeling happy. You're feeling empowered. Now what kind of actions do you take? From this state, remember, everything is a state. Tony Robbins is big on this. So everything is a state of mind. When you are in an empowered state of mind, what actions do you take? So what actions do you take? Deb says, I feel I used to block myself from moving forward as I was afraid of the commitment and the responsibility. Yes, there is a commitment and there is a huge responsibility that goes with success and that goes with having money. You've got to overcome those fears and doubts. So Stephen's feeling inspired. So let's just say, so Christine says, take action from infinite creation with the creator, courage and faith and trust. So beautiful, absolutely beautiful, different state of mind. So let's just say somebody in that state of mind is willing to take massive action. They don't actually care if they fail, in that they're not overly attached to the outcome. This is so, so important. When you are overly attached to the immediate outcome, you're never going to take the action that you need to take. You're never going to get out of your comfort zone. You're never going to take a risk. But if you let go of your emotional attachment to the immediate outcome, focusing on the vision and knowing that you don't care if you get knocked down 99 times, you're going to get up 100, then your success is inevitable. Inevitable. This is the guaranteed success formula. You can't fail if you are willing to stay on the field and continue to play full out. You can't fail. Backing themselves without expectations. Exactly, Deb. So it's letting go of those outcomes and what they mean about you. So here's another, this is gold. So we make up stories about what our past failures mean about us, about what has happened to us in our life means about us. And then we take on this persona of shame, of disappointment, of guilt, of all this, it's like a cloak that we carry around that is absolutely, it does not define us. Your past results cannot define you. Nothing can define you unless you allow it to. So when you take massive action, what's going to happen here? Oh, I keep trying to draw on my screen. When you take massive action, what's going to happen here? Remember, there are no guarantees. But if you continue to take massive action, if you continue to show up, if you continue to back yourself, then what's going to happen? Absolutely massive action. Ultimately, massive results. Yeah, absolutely. There is no substitute for this. You cannot shortcut this process. There's no way around it. If I could find a really easy way to get rich quick, believe me, I'd be doing it. That didn't involve all of this, all of the internal work. I'm a sucker for what I do, but I don't want to do work unnecessarily. This work is essential to your success. Discovering what's going on up here is critical to your success. So, all right, I'm going to get rid of all of this. I think I've made my point. Any questions so far? And thank you for participating, by the way. We're already getting people who are having breakthroughs, which is awesome. That is always my intention, to not waste your time and to help you get the breakthroughs that you need as a reward for being here. So let's look at the ways to reveal your blocks. So, firstly, awareness. I've just given you a higher level of awareness as to what could be sabotaging your success and stopping you from achieving the results that you are perfectly capable of achieving. The only thing standing in between you and your dreams, your goals, your vision, and achieving anything that you put your mind to is you. Now, that's nothing to feel ashamed of. It just means that you need to get to work on this. So you're very welcome, Christine. I'm very, very pleased that you're appreciating this and you're getting lots out of it. So your awareness, and it is building this awareness. It is going through your life as if it's a meditation and paying attention to your thoughts, to your feelings, how you're responding and reacting to different things in your life. And then the results that happen as a consequence of that. So it's becoming aware of and you can talk about it as becoming the observer. So you are observing yourself going through life. And I remember, I think it was Eckhart Tolle, who, when he was in the depths of despair, like just wanting to check out, didn't want to be here anymore, before he had his massive awakening. And the part of the awakening was he was kind of having this conversation in his head. You know how those people say, you know, those conversations, or that other person that's in your head, and the thought comes through, what other person in my head? Yeah, that one, that other person. And how you have conversations with yourself all the time. He went, wait a minute, there's two people in there. What is that? So there is the self, and there is this other entity that we interact with on a constant basis. Now, if you had a friend who walked by you in your life, in your ear going, you're not good enough, you're never going to be able to achieve that, who do you think you are? No, that's not safe. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Really? That's what you're going to do? That's the decision that you're going to make? You're a fool if you go ahead and do that. You'll never be able to achieve that. If you had a friend who wandered around talking like that to you in your head, beside you, how quickly do you think you'd ditch that friend? Guess what most of our heads are doing? Oh, Deb, no wonder you don't spend, I know that you don't spend a lot of time with your dad. God, that's just, ugh. So we limit, or hopefully we limit our time with these negative people who are dream stealers. But the biggest dream stealer of all is in here. This is the biggest dream stealer. This is why you have to neutralize the itty bitty shitty committee that's constantly telling you that it's not safe, you're not good enough, and you don't deserve it. Ugh. Ditch that sucker fast. And it's only through the awareness of what's going on up here that you can actually change it. Once you're aware of the dysfunction that's going on in your head, once you're aware of the fears and the doubts and the limiting beliefs, and this comes through observation. So awareness is absolutely key. Journaling, such a good exercise. So you can sit down daily, have a journal, sit down and write automatically. You can write random thoughts. You can think about your goals for the day. You can ask yourself certain questions like, what am I feeling today? Why am I feeling the way I'm feeling? How do I feel about what happened yesterday? There's all sorts of ways that you can use journaling to tap into the subconscious mind and to uncover what's really going on. What am I most afraid of? What's stopping me from achieving my goals and dreams? What's going to help me to get to where I want to be? These are really good questions. Questions in journaling are incredibly powerful as long as you're asking the right questions. Too many people ask really bad quality questions like, why am I always broke? Why does nothing ever work out for me? Why can't I find the right partner? Why doesn't anybody love me? Why do I keep sabotaging myself? Why does shit always happen to me? Self-fulfilling prophecy. The question, why does shit always happen to me, or why am I always broke? The dominant subject of those questions are, I'm always broke and shit always happens to me. Self-fulfilling prophecy. So you want to ask questions like, what do I need to know? What am I pretending not to know? Who do I need to speak to or connect with? What do I need to learn? What skills do I need to develop? What's really great about this situation? What is seeking to emerge? Another great question. What is seeking to emerge? How does it get any better than this? Access consciousness question. How does it get any better than this? And what else is possible? Two really great access consciousness questions. So journaling is very cool. Meditation. Meditation is really powerful, and you can do meditation in so many different ways. Getting out into the ocean or on the beach can be, and listening to the waves, watching the children play in the water, that can be a form of meditation. Meditation is just like becoming unclutched, not allowing the out of control train that is your thoughts to control your world, your internal world. So getting quiet, getting still. You can listen to guided meditations. You can focus on the breath, obviously the traditional meditation. You can take a walk out in nature. You can make your life a meditation, building your awareness. Wherever you go, your brain is there. So you can work with it all the time to quieten the mind. Meditation is just quietening the mind. You can do that anywhere in so many different ways. Just sit for 10 minutes and just have the discipline to quiet the mind. Meditation, super powerful. And I've already been through asking powerful questions that you can combine with journaling. So asking the right questions to reveal the blocks that are going on internally, like, what am I most afraid of? What is stopping me from achieving the results that I want? Here's a really powerful question for you. What's slowing me down, standing in the way, and stopping me from achieving my goals and dreams? What's slowing me down, standing in the way, and stopping me from achieving my goals and dreams? Really powerful question. So Deb, gratitude is incredibly powerful as an exercise. I guess there might be a process around gratitude that can help you to uncover your blocks. For me, it's more about being able to change my state of mind. It's taking my mind off the negative and focusing on the positive. And gratitude is also a practice that I like to try and integrate as much as I can into my world. So it's being grateful for the little things that happen throughout my day. I've built in this habit where something even small, good happens. I go, oh, thank you, universe. I sit down and I take a sip of a really nice cup of coffee and go, oh, thank you for this nice cup of coffee. And you can take gratitude a step further. I'm really glad you brought this up, Deb, because I love gratitude as an exercise. It's so powerful and transformational. Yes, we can't be sad and grateful at the same time. Very true. Nice, good fact to know. So if you think about what goes into making a cup of coffee, somebody has to toil and plant the coffee plants. Then those coffee plants have to take in the sunlight, the water, all the nutrients to grow. Then they have to have all the right nutrients and environment to be able to have the coffee beans. So somebody's nurtured that plant from a little tiny seedling up to a plant that is bearing fruit, bearing coffee. Then somebody has to go out and pick all those coffee beans. They take those coffee beans, they roast them and do whatever process that they have to do to them. Some special blend. And then they have to package that up. If you're drinking instant, like I do, I'm not a coffee aficionado, then they have to package that up. And then somebody has to transport it from the factory to the distribution, to the warehouse, from the warehouse to wherever it's being distributed and sold. Somebody then has to put that on the shelf in the supermarket. Somebody has to build the damn supermarket, put the shelves in, and employ hundreds of people just so you can buy your coffee. Have you ever thought about that? Have you ever thought about the process that goes into all the convenience that you have in your life? How many people do you have to be grateful for? The person who planted the coffee plant, the coffee plant for growing, the person who nurtured the coffee plant, the person who picked the coffee beans, the people who roasted and processed the beans into making coffee, who put it in the packaging, who got it on the truck, the person who drove the truck, the person who unloaded the truck, the people who stacked the shelves, and there's a whole stack of people in between all of that as well. You have a stack of people to be grateful for just for being able to get your cup of coffee. Ever thought about how many people it took to be able to construct the house that you live in? All the different materials. Have you been to Bunnings lately? If you're in America and you don't know what Bunnings is, it's like this super massive, huge, enormous hardware warehouse with, I don't know, gazillions of different hardware things. Like, how much manufacturing is there in the world that produces all from the tiniest little screw up to these great big massive building things? Yes, most people do get lost in there, Deb, me included. It just blows my mind every time I go in there and look at all the products that are being manufactured around the world, and you look at everything that goes into making your house. How many people were involved in the ultimate building of your house? I'm going off on a bit of a tangent here, but gratitude is just so amazing. So walk around your house and look at all the different things in your house. Somebody had to lovingly put them in. Somebody had to make the products, and somebody had to lovingly put them in and expertly put them in. Somebody had to learn the expertise and the skills to be able to build your house. It doesn't just happen by accident. The convenience that we have the ability to appreciate, well, we don't appreciate it. Most of us don't appreciate it. Even just thinking about it now, I'm like, oh my God, I'd forgotten a lot of this stuff. We just take it for granted. But the convenience that we enjoy comes at a cost. So anyway, I got off track there. Sorry, I hope that was helpful. 90% of success is, if you were here yesterday, you know this, 90% of success is Home Depot in the US. Yeah, there you go, Stephen, Home Depot. It's insane walking into those places. Yep, you got it. Mindset, absolutely. So you can have all the right skills, or you can have the perfect business model. You can have all the right strategies in place. You can have all the right infrastructure. You can have, you know, the best product or service on the planet. But if you don't have the right mindset, you're pretty much dead in the water. So most of your success in anything is going to be determined by the internal work that you do. If you're not internally set up to receive it, you are done. Abso-freaking-lutely. So you have to decide. The moment that you decide that your success is non-negotiable, that you are going to do whatever it takes, that failure is not an option, that your vision is already a fait accompli. It's already done because you are committed. You have to decide to be absolutely committed. My coach said the other day, there's dedication and there's dedication. How committed are you? How dedicated are you? How determined are you? What are you going to decide right now? What are you going to decide? I want you to make a decision right now. That there is nothing and nobody that is going to stand in your way between you and your goals and dreams. Nothing is going to stop you. No circumstance, no situation. You're going to take radical responsibility or extreme ownership, as Jocko Willink calls it. And you're going to do whatever it takes. Lucille, make my online business work. Yes. So it is doing whatever it takes. It is diving deep into the subconscious and doing the internal work. And it is being willing to fail your way forward. It is making the sacrifices to get to where you want to be. So Lucille's making an absolute commitment to making her online business work. What decision are you going to make right now? Are you going to decide to be unstoppable? Deb, to be healthy and go global so I can set up my education platform. Boom! I love it. Lucille, your online business. Boom! When that's going, how many people are you going to impact? How many people are going to be influenced and their future is going to be changed? Exactly, thousands. So you've got to commit to those thousands of people to getting your online business up and running and make it about them. Keep your focus on them, on the lives that you will change as a result. Deb, focusing on the people who will benefit beyond you from the effort that you're going to put in, from the sacrifices that you're going to make. You have to stop doing what's convenient and start doing what you have to do. Stephen, that's the first step. Find my perfect business. All the research in the world, doing the work on what I walked you through yesterday, finding out who you truly are, getting aligned, investigating all the different business models and finding what excites you, what lights you up. What is going to be the most effective way to get from where you are to where you want to be? Something that's going to be fun along the way. Awesome. I love it. I love it. I love it. I have no idea of the time. See, completely lose track of time. You know why? Because I freaking love doing this shit. This is my playground. What is the big goal that you're going to commit to? So we've already we've already sort of done that. But I want you to think even further beyond the statement that you already made. What is the big vision that you're going to commit to? And I want you to think about this after this workshop today and really solidify your mind. What is the big vision, the big goal that you are absolutely committing to? That you were saying, this is non-negotiable. This is my opus. I'm going to do everything I have to be able to achieve this. Christine, I'm committed to my soul music dance venue. Yes, I love it. I want to be there. Sounds really super cool. Work on the global homeless situation and education to support single parents who have fallen into the well. Fantastic, Deb. There is an entire machine that is going to need to be set up to be able to do that. And undoubtedly, there are many conscious businesses or entrepreneurs out there who would be willing to support that. So it's time to call them in. It's time to call them in. And this is where Deb said it was me as a single mum of 5. It's making your mess your message. So I didn't mention that yesterday. It's about looking about where you've come from to where you are now and making your mess, your journey, your message. What is it that you've learned along the way that you can help others to learn that's going to liberate them from their problem, from their pain? It's going to help them to solve their challenge. Okay. All right. This saying, you can make, I'm sure you know this. If you've been on my trainings before, you definitely know this. You can make blank or you can make blank, but you can't do both. Gretchen, set up 1 or more online businesses. Beautiful. So you can make, or you can make, but you can't do both. Come on. I know somebody knows this. You can make, starts with M. You can make, hit me, baby. Gretchen's going to set up 1 or more non-profit organizations that are helping the environment and humanity. I love it. Boom. So just to give you a little bit of a hand there, it's about setting up your plan and your vision and then finding those who want to help you in your vision, building your team. So who's on your team? All right. I'm not getting any answers to this one, so I'm going to give it to you. You can make money or you can make excuses, but you can't do both. So I know that you think your excuses are perfectly valid reasons. They're not. They're excuses. Now, I think of there's so many different amazing people, like those inspiring videos that come up on YouTube from Goldcast or whatever, and the people who have overcome such enormous challenges in their lives. One sticks in my head, and this is, I don't know his name, I'm sorry, but I heard this story several years ago about a man who no legs. So he was in a wheelchair, but he was a super fit dude. And he decided to do the Kokoda track. Now, I'm a fairly fit human being. I have no desire to go and do the Kokoda track. So the Kokoda track is in Papua New Guinea. It's where in World War II, our soldiers took this journey. I don't even know how long it was, but it was grueling. They carried wounded soldiers. They had limited food and resources in the wettest, most awful, terrible conditions, up and down this rocky terrain that was, there's no path, beating their way through the jungle. They had with them what they called the Fuzzy Wuzzy Angels. So it was the Papua New Guineans who actually were their saviors in the end, because I don't think they ever would have made it. But the absolute that track, people travel to Papua New Guinea to do that track, and they train for it because it is grueling. This guy with no legs crawled it. He didn't do it in a wheelchair. He didn't have somebody carry him. He crawled it. Like, that freaking blows my mind. Hell, I walk up the lookout here. Most people think I'm really good for walking up the lookout. There's an 80-something-year-old woman who walks up the lookout with her walking stick. I love her. Every time I feel like, oh, I don't want to do the lookout today, I think, oh my God, Ruth's going to be doing the lookout. I better get my sorry, excuse-laden ass out that door and up the hill. So you can make excuses, or you can make money, or you can make excuses, but you cannot do both. So decide. What are you going to do? You're going to make money? Or are you going to continue to give reasons why you're not? or why it's not working, or why circumstances aren't right, or why nothing's lined up yet, or you're waiting for something else to happen. Enough. Okay, I know I'm hammering you today. I'm not going to apologize for that. Time plus effort equals progress. Tony Robbins talks about this. One of the greatest things that human beings want is progress. How do you feel when you've had a day that you've procrastinated on stuff, that you've found loads of things to keep you busy, but you haven't actually done the things that would get you progress, that would help you to get some kind of momentum in your business? And you had things that you wanted to achieve that day, and you sit down at the end of the day and go, oh, I didn't do it. How does that feel? Pretty crap, right? Even if you have the biggest vision on the planet, the day that you get shit done and you sit and you look back at your day, you feel accomplished. You feel satisfied. You feel like this good feeling inside because you made progress. So you've got to put in the time and you have to put in the effort. Nothing happens without action. Exactly. Deb, feels like a waste of time that you can't get back. Time is so incredibly precious. Time is way more important and precious than money. Going back to people being afraid to they're playing not to win. They're not playing to win, they're playing not to lose. In business, do you know why most people play not to lose? Because they're afraid to lose money. And they're afraid to lose money because they don't know how to make money. I want you to think about that. If you were confident in your ability to make money, this is what entrepreneurs are really good at. They're good at making money. So why they're not so afraid to lose money? Because they know even if they lose it, mind you, Warren Buffett's number one rule is don't lose money. But Warren Buffett, even he knows that even if he loses money, he has perfected the steps that he needs to take. And there's many gazillions of ways to make money on this planet. Gazillions of ways. I can't believe some of the ways people make money. It's like, really? People pay you for that? Really? Blows my mind. But there are a gazillion ways for people to make money. It's figuring out your unique wealth formula, what we spoke about yesterday. What is your unique wealth formula? What lights you up? How do you monetize that? Once you know the process, then you'll never be afraid to lose money because it's like, well, that sucks. However, I know I'm going to make it back because money is a revolving door. It comes in, it goes out. It comes in, it goes out. That is what money is. It is a tool that we use to buy stuff, to invest in stuff. So time plus effort equals progress. Come on, move forward. There we go. Okay, so how are you showing up each and every day? I want you to think about this. How are you showing up? How are you showing up? Oops. Go back. Are you showing up? No, don't do that. I don't want you to do that. Work with me. Technology, work with me. Stoppable. Are you showing up unstoppable? With zest and zeal, says Stephen. Are you showing up determined? Are you showing up committed? Yes, good one, Deb. Are you showing up with a can-do attitude? Are you showing up with passion? with purpose. Somebody who shows up this way, do you think their success is inevitable? Ultimately, maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next month, but ultimately somebody who continually, consistently shows up with that kind of attitude, with those kind of states. So remember, it's about being able to deliberately create your state of mind. Your state of mind changes multiple times in an hour, let alone a day. I was just thinking about this in the context of Alexei Popyrin, the young tennis player who won his match yesterday. He's got 2 days to recover and then prepare for his next match. And see him in tears and so elated and overwhelmed with this rush of positive emotion. And I couldn't help but thinking, if he loses his next match, he's going to be in a totally different state. He might be crying, but it will be tears of sadness, not tears of joy. And we can actually shift these states within seconds. So you can be in a state of joy and then somebody gives you really bad news. What happens? Your state shifts instantly. Now you can learn the art of shifting your state. And I'll bring up Tony Robbins again. This is something he's a master at. He is all about mastering your state of mind. Okay, awesome, Deb. It's great to see you participating, and it's great that you've had that shift. That is so cool. Participation, how you do anything is how you do everything. Participation is so important. So being able to shift your state, and there are many, many ways that you can do that. Of course, one of my favorite ones is EFT tapping. So what if nothing changes in the next 6 months? What if nothing changes in the next 12 months? What if you're in the same place you are now in 2 years' time, in 5 years' time? How will that feel? What if another year goes by and you're in the same position in December of this year that you currently are right now? How will that feel? Discouraging, says Gretchen. Absolutely. What happens to most people every year? Feels stagnant and depressing. Exactly. Is that acceptable to you? Is it acceptable that you could be in the same place in December that you are right now? Absolutely not, says Christine. I love it. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I love it. Deb, more than 5 years to date. Yep. And you felt like walking away. Yes. More determined to make it work. That's the key. It's the determination. It's the commitment. It's saying, I'm going to do whatever it takes. I'm going to stop playing not to lose. I'm going to start playing to win. And I'm going to keep coming back to it. You've got to be willing to accept the consequences that come with that way of playing. Sometimes when you go all in and you give it everything you've got, you're going to come out bruised, battered. But the point is that you get back on the field anyway. You patch yourself up, you dust yourself off, you get back out on that damn field. The only failure is a failure to participate, and you go again, and you go again, and you go again, and you go again, because that's what playing to win is. It's not about not losing temporarily or failing in the short term. It's all about failing your way forward. Sally, your coaching homework is Tony Robbins AM PM power questions, gives me focus daily. Yeah, he's got some incredible material. Now, I want you to shift your perspective. What if you do the work? You find a way through. What if you decide to do the groundwork? See, most people don't want to do the groundwork. They don't want to do the boring stuff, the planning, the developing, the assessment, the trial and error, the foundational work. But that structure that you implement in the beginning is going to really accelerate your progress. It's doing the work in the back end so you can accelerate your progress. Sorry, doing the work in the front end so you can accelerate your progress in the back end. So it's working hard in the beginning and building those solid foundations so you can then accelerate. You cannot accelerate on flimsy foundations. It's learning the skills that you need to learn. It's getting out of your comfort zone. It's doing this internal work. So what if you do all of that? And in 12 months' time, you have taken consistent action every day toward your goal, toward your vision. You've done the internal work each and every day. And you've made massive progress by the end of this year. You may not have achieved your massive vision, your 10-year goal or your 20-year goal, whatever it might be, even a 2-year goal or a 5-year goal, but you've made significant progress. You can look back on this year and go, man, that was insane. I set my goal, I set my target. I had no idea how I was going to achieve it, but I went in, I got out of my comfort zone. Sometimes they're really challenging. Sometimes I really wanted to walk away because, man, some parts were really hard, but I'm so proud of myself because I didn't allow anything to stop me. I was unstoppable this year. And now that I've achieved this much, man, what else can I achieve? If I can do this, God, what else is possible? Notice the change of state, completely different, life-changing. What if you get to the end of this year and nothing has changed? Then you've just delayed your progress a whole nother year. But what if you get to the end of this year and you've made significant progress? You can change your entire life in 6 months with the right action, with the right focus, with the right mindset, with the right determination. Everything can change. It's a terrible cycle to get stuck in, absolutely, Deb. And most people are in that cycle. You have to break the cycle. Okay, so I'm going to very quickly run through this. Let me help you with what I know to be the top 3 factors stopping you from making your dreams a reality right now. Number 1, you have one or more of these 3 blocks. What are they? I've already mentioned them. They were already about an hour ago. I don't even know what time it is. Seriously. About an hour ago, I was talking about these 3 blocks. It's not safe, exactly. Not safe. Not enough or not good enough. What's the third one? It's not safe. I'm not good enough. As if anybody's going to be able to read that. But anyway. Yep. Worthiness. I don't deserve it. Yep. Absolutely. Thanks, John. I might just hand over the class to you guys. It's not safe. I'm not good enough. I don't deserve it. I don't think anybody's going to employ me for my writing skills on an iPad. Anywho, moving right along. So very quickly, 8 primary mindset blocks. Fear of change or fear of the unknown, massive. We are hardwired to fear change. We do not like the unfamiliar because we don't know the potential consequences of that. Fear of failure, self-explanatory. We all have an inbuilt fear of failure, but are you allowing it to run the show? Fear of success. So for some people, success is a painful experience. My story as a young schoolgirl, right from the get-go, I was very good at school and I was always top of the class. And I actually didn't have to work that hard for it because my brain was just really good in that environment. I was a quick learner and I processed information really quickly, and I got great results. The other kids hated that. It was a very competitive class. And I'm talking when I was 6 and 7. And they bullied me relentlessly. And all I could think as a 6 and 7-year-old is, why does everybody hate me so much? It was horrible. Now I went from top of the class every time to a middle-rated student. I carried that with me for decades. I was so afraid of success because I was afraid to be bullied. I was afraid to end up alone and lonely. It was so painful being successful that I never wanted to go there. And it took me ages to work through that. I still think I am to a certain extent because it was hardwired into my brain that success meant pain. I associated success, I associated with achievement, at being good at something, with pain. That wasn't going to work for me. And as a 6 or 7-year-old, I didn't know I'd made that decision. I didn't understand that until I started to learn this stuff. Like 30 years later. Yeah, about 30 years later. So this ruled my life all of those years. So fear of negative consequences. So what are you afraid of happening as a result of you taking action, as a result of you being rich and successful, as a result of you building a huge business of any description, as a result of you achieving your goals and dreams? What are you afraid of? What are you really afraid of? We're all afraid that something's bad is going to happen. Well, we're not all. Many of us are afraid that something bad is going to happen. We catastrophize about it. It is safer to stay where we are, no matter how uncomfortable it might be, no matter how unsatisfactory it might be. It's safer to stay where we are because it's what we know. It's what we're familiar with. We know we can deal with it. The story of the dog lying on the nail, you've probably heard this. So there's a guy standing there with his dog lying at his feet. There's another guy watching on because every now and again this dog just yelps. And the guy walks over to the guy with the dog and says, "Why does your dog yelp every now and again?" The dude goes, "Because he's lying on a nail." The guy goes, "He's lying on a nail? What? Why is he lying on a nail? Why doesn't he just get up?" And the dude with the dog goes, "It's obviously not uncomfortable enough yet." How many nails are you lying on? Because you're too afraid to get up because you don't know what's beyond getting off the nail. So fear of loss, we're afraid of losing money, losing time, losing face, losing our reputation, losing friends and family, losing love. It could be many things. But fear of loss holds many of us back. Fear of rejection, judgment, criticism, massive. These things are incredibly painful, rejection, judgment, and criticism. Guess what? If you choose to be massively successful, people are going to reject you, judge you, and criticize you. Screw those dudes. Their judgment of you, their opinion of you has nothing to do with you. So let go of your emotional attachment to what other people think of you and the potential rejection, judgment, and criticism. Who knows Jordan Peterson? Have you seen what he's going through right now? Clinical psychologist who's really prominent in many circles right now, and who is a champion for different causes, but he's a very controversial, polarizing figure because his opinions are not popular. He is getting smashed. But he doesn't allow that to stop him. Being a clinical psychologist, I dare say he knows how to navigate that. But Stephen, when do you take the rock out of your shoe? Exactly. Great analogy. Same as the nail. Yes. People are cruel and unconscious. Yes, they are. Unfortunately, yes, they are. So I'm not enough, lack of self-worth. We've already really covered that. Lack of self-worth, self-confidence, and self-belief, huge block. And then you've got the negative emotions or states. So we don't have a lot of a high level of emotional IQ in our society. Most people don't teach us how to deal with our negative emotions, the fear, the sadness, the anger, the shame, the guilt, the overwhelm, the jealousy, the powerlessness, the disappointment. I could go on and on and on. Because we don't know how to deal with it, how to process those emotions, we tend to find ways to, what we do is we find a way to shut it down, to contain it somewhere. Now, when you do that, it doesn't go away. This is why we have to have anger management classes for some people. And it's why there's things called road rage and surf rage and shopping rage. Because people are so full up with anger because they don't know how to process it, release it, let it go, that it builds up until it's Mount Vesuvius and it just erupts because it's got nowhere else to go. So our negative emotional states, anger, by the way, is a huge block to receiving money. All these negative emotions, when they are trapped within our field, they cause dysfunction and they disrupt and stop our ability to succeed. So it's incredibly important that you learn how to process these. They will stop you from being the best version of you and from achieving your goals and dreams. Yes, it is labeled mental illness due to the lack of skills in navigating it. Absolutely, Deb, you are on it. So the next thing is you don't have the most important belief for success. Who knows what I'm talking about? What is the most important belief for your success? Yeah, absolutely. Deb, smashed it. Whoop, go back. No, go back. Keep forgetting to bring my little pen up. It is your self-belief. The belief in yourself is absolutely crucial, and you're not going to achieve that overnight. It is building that through the processes that you do every day, through the action that you take and the wins that you have, through navigating the challenges and overcoming the challenges that you face. It's all a process. And thirdly, there is something that you don't know. So what is it that you don't know? Is it, where's my little piece of paper? Is there, oh, damn it. I keep forgetting to bring up my little pen. Is there information that you need? Information is just something that, information is everywhere. If there's something you don't know, as far as information is concerned, then you can find it. You probably don't even have to leave home anymore. You used to have to go to a library. Sometimes you used to have to go halfway around the world. Now, basically all the information that we need is available to us instantly, as long as we know what we're looking for and what to search for. So it could be information. It could be you don't know the skills that you need, or you haven't developed those skills yet. It could be that you don't know the structure. that you need. It could be that you don't know about marketing or sales. You don't know the business model. Maybe you don't know enough about yourself. Maybe you don't know your why, which we spoke about yesterday. Maybe you don't know what beliefs are holding you back. Somewhere in there, there's something that you don't know. And this is the process of discovery. Now, this is where I recommend that you find somebody to help you with this, because at least in my experience, trying to do this yourself and figuring this out on your own is really going to slow you down big time. The greatest progress I have ever made is when I have worked with others. And sometimes I have, because I do tend to like to do things myself and figure things out. I love to learn and find things out and then put things together. The problem is when I try to do this all on my own, I can flounder for months, if not years, and leave hundreds of thousands or millions of dollars on the table because I refuse to ask for help. There is somebody out there who knows what you need. Find them. Work with them. Because you can accelerate your progress by years by finding the right people to bring onto your team, to develop the right mindset, to figure out the steps and the process that you need to take. Don't be afraid to ask for help, because that could be the one thing that stops you from achieving anything that you really want. So they're the three things. 90% of we've covered that. Rich person mindset versus broke person mindset. So next time you're going to make a decision, think about, if I have a rich person mindset, how do I make this decision? Versus, again, it comes back to, are you playing to win or are you playing not to lose? Rich people, they never say I can't. They always say, how can I? They never look at a situation and go, oh, that's a deal breaker. I'm out. Well, no rich person I know does that. Unless there is something that is so, if you look at it from the perspective of, there are things that I certainly won't do to achieve my success. It's got to come from a state of higher consciousness and for the good of everybody. But for a conscious rich person mindset, there is always a way. And damn it, I will freaking well find it. I will go to the ends of the earth to find the way. That's a rich person mindset. A broke person in mindset is, it's too hard. I think I'll just go back to watching Netflix. Broke person mindset. Okay, so this is where we come to the end of the presentation. Again, I'm going to put this link up for you. margarita.as.me/strategy. I do have a handful of spots available. They are getting booked up pretty quickly though. So if you really want to work with me, then you need to jump on this soon. And this is for people who are really ready to commit to their goal and dream, to going all in. And this is how you explore potentially working with me in one of my programs. And I also have the Wealth Tapathon coming up again next week. I will talk to you more about that tomorrow. That will be for me to be able to help you to clear out your limiting beliefs. We're going to actually get a taste of that tomorrow. So don't miss tomorrow. Tomorrow is where I will work with you personally to clear out the limiting beliefs that are stopping you from moving forward. So you get to experience the work that I do on the call tomorrow. So make sure you make that a priority and show up. Please, if you can show up just a little bit early so we can get started on time, that would be freaking awesome. That would be great. And if you are ready to invest in yourself and to go all in then please don't hesitate to book a strategy call with me. The strategy call is entirely free. And I'm going to look at where you're at, where you want to be, and help you to solve that problem, and then discuss whether it is appropriate for you to work with me and what that would look like. So I do hope you have gotten a lot out of today. Please let me know if you have any questions, and what is your greatest takeaway from today? What is your greatest takeaway from today? So Gretchen said, I currently don't know what online business. So your job right now, Gretchen, is to get absolutely committed to doing the investigation work using what I shared yesterday to discover what is that business that is aligned with you, that is going to get you the results that you want, and that is the business model that is actually your unique wealth formula. So yesterday I talked about your unique wealth formula, and that is going in and doing discovery work, doing the groundwork to discover what your unique wealth formula is. And that's what my Billionaire You program, my 12-month coaching program, is about, helping people to discover their unique wealth formula and then monetizing it. So that's what I specialize in. My specialty is mindset, of course, but helping people as well to discover their unique wealth formula and the structure that goes into creating that leveraged business with infinite amount of income potential. So no questions. You're very welcome, Pat, and you're very welcome, John. Thank you so much for being here. You're very, very welcome, everybody. Gretchen too. So whether you're watching the replay or if you've been here live, thank you very much for spending your time with me. It is a great honor and a pleasure. And I do hope that you've got something really amazing and life-changing out of this. Go and take action on it. So lots of love to you all. I look forward to seeing you again tomorrow. Have a great day. Cheers.